Hello guys, welcome to a new video, and it's in this new video, as you can see, we're going to reference to this topology that I have over here, or this semi topology, and I'm going to be configuring, as you can see over here, OSPF, area 0, 1, 2, 3. We're going to have some route summarization with area 2. We're going to do some network address translation with NAT overload. We're also going to do some redistribution between OSPF and BGP, EIGRP and BGP. We're going to do some unequal load balancing. We are going to be doing some EIGRP authentication, also OSPF authentication. We are going to do virtual link. We are going to redistribute OSPF and EIGRP as well. We are going to be using the distribute list um, and prefix list. And also I'm going to be doing some route maps. And to conclude, I'm going to be doing some VRF at the end of this video. This is probably going to take me at least 3 parts. The first part is going to be, we're going to start right now. And as you can see, I already have a topology in GNS3. I have not configured anything. I just put um, all the numbers in, all the IP addresses and all that, all the servers, and that's all I have done. Okay, and I do not recommend you guys to use Packet Tracer for this activity because Packet Tracer is not going to cover everything. All right, so let's go ahead and start. Hostname OSPF 0. So I'm going to start with OSPF 0, which is this router over here. And we have to configure area 0, which is going to consist of these 3 interfaces right here. There is going to be area 0, okay? So let's go ahead and do an interface gigabit 0/1, and the IP address is going to be 192.168.1.1/30, and /30 is 252. Let's do another shutdown. Then from here, we are going to configure OSPF because you can do it straight from the interface. So if you do it straight from the interface, whenever you configure, if you change your interface, you don't need to do anything else because OSPF is going to pick it up and it's going to add it. It's not like when you do the network, when you do a router OSPF versus ID of 1 and then do the network. If you change the IP address of a network, then you're going to have to go back and change it. But if you do it straight from the interface, you do not have to change it, okay? And the area is 0 for that, okay? So we have configured gigabit 01 for area 1. Now let's go ahead and configure interface gigabit 0/1, actually 0/0, which is the one connected to OSPF 1 to this router over here. And the IP address for this one is going to be 192.168.2.1/30 as well. Now shut down. We're going to be doing OSPF first ID 1 area 0 as well. Great. Now you can see that he came up. Now let's go ahead to OSPF 1 and let's do a hostname OSPF 1. Let's go to interface gigabit 0/1. Oh, 0/0, I'm sorry, which is this one, the one that is connected to OSPF 0. The IP address for this one is 192.168.2.2.252. Now shut down. Um, and for this one, IP OSPF purse ID of 1. The purse ID could be any number. It doesn't need to match like EIGRP. Okay, but the area does need to match. There we go. So that's good. Now it's gonna take a couple seconds so it can form a narrow relationship. And when it forms a narrow relationship, we are going to get a message, as you can see over here. Now we have a neighbor relationship, and to confirm that, do show IP OSPF neighbor, and there it is. That's our neighbor right here, which is 192.168.1.1, which is this one right here. Great. Now let's go ahead and configure gigabit 01, which is going to be an area of 1. So what I could do, go 1, the IP address for this one is going to be 3.1. Now shut down, and OSPF purse ID 1, area of 1, because it's this area right here. Okay, it's not going to form a neighbor relationship yet because we need to go ahead and configure OSPF. We need to configure the other router, which is this one right here. First, let's do hostname ospf2 interface gigabit 0/1 IP address 192.168.3. Did I do that 3.1 over here? Yep, the 3.1. This is going to be that 3.2 252. Now shut down IP ospf push ID1 area 1. Now we need to configure area 2 over here. So this is gigabit 0/0. And as you can see for this one, we already formed a neighbor relationship with ospf 1. Great. Now we're going to interface gigabit 0/0 so we can configure area 2. The IP address for this one is going to be 4.1. Now shut down ospf push ID1 area 2. All right, now we need to configure ospf 3, which is this one over here. Config T. Let's give it a host name ospf 3 interface gigabit 0/0. IP address for this one is going to be 192.168.4.2. Did I do that 4.1 over here? Yes, we did. That's great. Now let's go back to the other one. That 242. Now shut down. IP address is going to be for this one. It's going to be, let's see. Well, not IP address. It's IP ospf push ID1 area 2. Great. So now let's configure gigabits. There we go. We form an area relationship with router ospf2. If you do show IP ospf neighbor, you can see the neighbor over here. Now let's go ahead and configure gigabit 01. So if we go ahead and do interface gigabit 0/1 IP address, it's going to be a global IP address, which is going to be 200.1.1/29 255.255.255. That's what's going to be for this area. I'm going to have it as if it's 29, so 29 is 248, right? Now shut down. So that interface went up. And now if we go to OSPF and do show IP OSPF neighbor, we should have two neighbors right here. So this is OSPF 1, which is this one right here. So we have a neighbor relationship with OSPF 0 and a neighbor relationship with OSPF 2 right here. Okay, so everything is working the way I wanted it. Now if we do an N show IP OSPF, let's just do a show IP route, and you're going to see right here that we have just one inter area OSPF, and we don't have the 192.168.4 network over here. If we go over here, let's do N show IP route. Let's see if we have it here. We do not have it here either. Do we have it here? And show IP route. Yep, we have it here because it's directly connected. We don't have the .4 anywhere. So what we need to do is we need to configure a virtual link. So this one can be basically directly connected to OSPF area 0, and then that's going to give us this 192.168.4 network. Okay, and for us to do that, we need to configure what is called a virtual link. Okay, and the way you do that, you need to go to configuration mode and go to router OSPF port ID1, which is the one that we have been using, and then we have to go to area 1, and area 1 this is what is called the I believe that it's not the intra area. I forgot what it's called, but this is the area that you need to use for you to be able to do that virtual link. So area 1 virtual link, and you need to do the virtual link associated with a neighbor. And the neighbor that we have, we already did we do the do show IP? We haven't done that. So what we could do to find out, do show IP OSPF neighbor, And the one that I want to do is 192.168.2.2. So let's go area 1, um, virtual link 192.168.2.2. Okay, so we did it for OSPF 2. Now we gotta do it for OSPF 1 so they can be able to communicate. Config T, router, OSPF 1. Let's just do show IP, OSPF, do show IP, OSPF neighbor. And the one that we need to do needs to be the 3.2 network, okay, the 3.2 neighbor. So let's go ahead and do area 1, virtual link. And as you can see, we are receiving an error because we have not configured. So when we configure now, we're going to stop receiving those. Um, we're going to stop receiving those errors, and then what's going to happen is that 4 network is going to be inserted here. So let's go ahead and do that. It needs to be 192.168.3.2. There we go. Now, if we do a show IP route, there we go. It took a minute. As you can see, we did show IP route, and it wasn't there. Then we did it again, and now we have 2 IA, so inter-area networks. So we have the 4th network inserted right here. So this is great, just what I wanted to do. So we are done with this OSPF configuration. And let me go ahead and change this since they were .30 and they're not 240, they're 252. Let's just leave it like this. Now, what I want to do, just going to close the window and let's go ahead and open all the EIGRP routers. And from here, now this one is this one. Move it up so you guys can see it which one I'm configuring. Let's go ahead and configure EIGRP 0. So let's go ahead and config T. Let's give it a host name of EIGRP 0. And let's go to interface gigabit 0/0 or 0/1. IP address for this one is going to be 172.31.1.1/30. Okay, so that one is configured right here. So we have connectivity. We don't have connectivity yet, but if we do no shutdown, that's good. Now we do router EIGRP autonomous system 1. Let's do a network 172.31.1.0.3. Let's do no auto summary just because that's what I always do. Now let's go ahead to gigabit 0/0. But actually, let's just add that network first. .31.2.0.3. Great. Now let's go ahead and interface gigabit 0/1. There we go, which is not 0/1, 0/0, which is this one connected to EIGRP 1. And from here, we have to configure the IP address 172.31.2.1, 252, 255, 252. Now shut down. Okay, so that this is done. We have configured everything on EIGRP 0. Let's go ahead to EIGRP 1. Config T. From here, we have to give it a host name first. EIGRP 1. Interface gigabit 0/0. IP address 172.32.2.2.252. Now shut down. And let's go ahead and configure gigabit 0/1. Gigabit 0/1 is going to have the 3.1. Great. Now let's go ahead to router EIGRP 1. No auto summary. Network 172.31.2.0.3. And then let's configure the 3 network. And you can see we have formed a neighbor relationship already with EIGRP 0. So if we do show IP EIGRP neighbor, you can see that we have a neighbor relationship with EIGRP 0. Okay, so that's great. Now let's go to EIGRP2, config T, hostname EIGRP1, the hostname, or EIGRP1, or we have EIGRP2. Okay, interface. We need to configure gigabit 01 with the IP address of 172.31.3.2.252. Now shut down. Let's go ahead and configure gigabit 00. And for this one, 00, since we are going to have two links, it's going to be a 29, which is a slash 29, and it ends with 248. So let's go ahead and configure that. If we go to, we already went to 01, so let's go ahead to 00. And for 00, we're going to have an IP address of 172.31.4.1.248. Now shut down. Then let's go ahead to gigabit 03. And for this one, it's going to be .2. Overlaps with, okay, so it is overlapping. So what we need to do, let's go ahead and configure a 5.1 then. Sorry for that, it's 5.1 that I want to do over here. There it is. So now what we need to do is go ahead and configure EIGRP as a router, EIGRP, autonomous system 1. Remember, they all need to match. If they do not match, we are going to get a error. Now let's go ahead and network 172.1.31. That for EIGRP2 is going to be that 3.0, 3, and we also need to add that 4, and we also need to add that 5. And as you can see, we did not form an error relationship with EIGRP1 for some reason. If we do a show IP interface brief, let's see what's going on. And we have configured on gigabit 01 the 3.2, and it is up and up. Let's go to EIGRP and do a show IP interface brief. And as you can see, that 3.1 network is down. So let's go to interface gigabit 0/1 and do a shutdown. And now we should form a neighbor relationship. And there it is. We are forming a neighbor relationship. We do show IP EIGRP neighbor. You can see that we have two EIGRP neighbors over here, which is great, just the way I wanted it. So now EIGRP2 is configured. Let's go to EIGRP3. Config T, host name. The host name is EIGRP3. Let's go to interface gigabit 0/0. IP address for this one is 172.31.4.248. Now shut down. Let's go ahead to that 3, and this one is going to be a 5.2. Okay, and now let's go ahead to router, EIGRP, autonomous system 1, no auto summary, network. For this one, it's going to be 172.31.4.0.3, and we also need to add that 5. You can see we formed a relationship, and now we are going to form another one. Or are we? Let's see, do show IP interface brief. And gigabit 03, it is down. So I forgot to do a no shutdown. Gigabit 0/3, no shutdown. And there we go. It just came up. And we did not form a neighbor relationship, and I believe that's because the way I added the networks. So that's completely wrong. So let's go ahead to router EIGRP 1, EIGRP 1, and for the networks, let's just negate those networks. No. So this one went down. So this one is actually right. So let's just do no and no. And since, let's go ahead to EIGRP2, do show IP interface brief. And gigabit 03 is down, so that's why we're not forming a relationship. So let's go ahead and do um, interface gigabit 03, not shut down, and great, great. So now what we need to do is, see, I put that 3, they're not supposed to be that 3 for these two, they need to be at that 7. So let's go ahead and router EIGRP 1, see if we can bring the networks, okay. Let's say no, and then let's say no to the 5, and then let's remove this. This one needs to be 7, I believe. Let's say was 248 minus 255. That's equal to 7, so that needs to be 7, and this one needs to be 7 as well. Now let's go ahead over here and do the same. 7. There we go, and 7. And there we go. So we have formed neighbor relationship. If we do show IP EIGRP neighbors, there we go. We have two neighbors. We do and show IP routes. We show out routes. There we go. The EIGRP routes. So all is working correctly the way I wanted it. So what I'm going to do is WR, so I can save my configuration. WR, WR, and we can just do a copy run start too. It's the same. Great. So I have saved all my configuration. Let me see this one, saved. Now let's go ahead and save it for the OSPF. Put this down. So let's do a WR, 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 and WR. Oops, from this one is N, WR. So this one is saved. This one did not save. WR. Let's see this one. That one either. WR. There we go. So this one is saved. This one was saved. This one was saved. And this one was saved. Okay. So this is it for this um, video right now. On the next video, what I'm going to be configuring is I'm going to be configuring the route redistribution. So we are going to redistribute the routes OSPF to EIGRP, EIGRP to BGP, BGP to OSPF. Then I'm going to configure the BGP routers. And then after that, I'm going to probably end it right there. Then I'm going to do some NAT overload. Right after I do that NAT overload, I'm going to configure the EIGRP authentication and OSPF authentication. Then we are going to plug in this. We're going to plug in all these servers, and the server are going to have a static NAT, so a static NAT network address translation. And then after that, then I'm going to do a VRF, and that should conclude this um, topology. And then after that is done, I'm going to add another network and I'm going to do a lot more stuff. Okay, guys. So thank you guys for watching, and I see you on the next one. And if you guys do not follow me, go ahead to my Twitter account and follow me on Twitter at CCNA Daily Tips. And if you do not have a Twitter account, go ahead and create one and then follow me. So thank you guys for watching, and I see you on the next one. Bye bye.